Time a dish with D. That's me. Thank you for this video, making yourself a priority. I am Denise. It is Monday, August 4th. FYI, my birthday's next Monday, so would it be fun? We ought to have a party. What do you think? Think we should have a live birthday party? Have I ever done that before? I don't know. You're not here for that. You're here for Weight Watchers weekly meeting technique and my weekly weigh-in. Well, we're in August officially for the weight loss technique. New theme. You know what our theme is this month? Maintaining momentum. And I love this week's topic, Suzanne. Suzanne, you were absolutely correct that I would love this topic. And the monthly theme of maintaining momentum for August, fighting plan fatigue is the topic. Oh my gosh. Haven't I been talking about this in the last couple weeks? Fatigue. It means you're just tired. You're not interested. You don't have any desire to do it. It's just like, ugh. You know, sometimes it's fatigue for tracking, fatigue for exercise, fatigue for water, fatigue for food. Me, mostly, I would say I have food fatigue a little bit. I think I have exercise fatigue because I want to do something different. I feel like what I'm doing needs to change, but we'll get to that. So it says this time of year can feel like it's dragging. So it's this month we're focusing on fighting the friction and pushing past what's getting in our way. Sometimes a lot of things in the month of August get in our way. Me, usually this time of year, it's birthdays because my son's birthday is July 8th, Peter, the youngest. Timmy's birthday is July 25th. Steve's birthday is July 27th. And my birthday is August 11th. So we have birthdays for the, 6 weeks, which involves birthday food, birthday cake. At least for me, I don't have birthday cake because I usually make myself a nice, light, and healthy birthday cake. But, who wants this kind of cake? Who wants Timmy's? He's a honey bun cake. Oh my gosh, the honey bun cake. It is such an easy cake. If you ever need to make it for a barbecue, it'll be a hit. It is easy. I will link that cake. I know it's like, why are we talking about this? You're talking about cake. Because I'm talking about easy stuff. And that cake, it's a box cake, a yellow, moist cake mix. It calls for sour cream. I use yogurt, eggs, I think there's a little bit of oil in it, and some brown sugar and cinnamon, which again, you can lighten it up again with using yogurt, using applesauce, using brown sugar substitutes. You can definitely make that a lightened cake, and I don't think it'd be that noticeable. But if you don't want to, it's Timmy's favorite cake. So yes, he got it, and yes, he took it with him. So, I didn't take my weigh in. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm thinking to myself, why are we on cake? Because why not? I was down 0.2 this week. So honestly, I'm happy. And like I said, it's a hard month. So to sit there and coast, to me, 0.2, it's not a loss, it's a maintain. And I'm happy with that. And there's so much going into fatigue that we're going to talk about today. And this is fighting plan fatigue. Running on fumes, plan fatigue could happen on the journey. Come take a load off and rework what focused on your journey realistically looks like. Because what it looks like when you started is different than when it looks like today. And funny fact is, that's what a lot of them were talking about in the Zooms. It's what you started versus what it is today. It's totally, for me, and for a lot of people, it was all about the number. Now, I'm not saying the number's not important, but it's all about health. Yes, I'm not at the number that I would like to be at, but am I healthier? Is all my blood work good? Is my life good? It is. So sometimes, like I said, that's why, I don't get too crazy. If I really were to think about, if I really I would be not even here. I'd be I would feel like a failure, but I'm not. I'm maintaining a 100-pound weight loss. So I don't feel like I'm a failure. I feel like, you know what, maybe the weight needs to be a realistic number. And one of the girls who I watched, Kelly S, I think her name is, she's my second Zoom. She said that BMI chart, sometimes you just got to ask your doctor. Like I said, my doctor wanted me way higher than Weight Watchers did. Actually, he wants me where I'm at now, but she did, I should say. It was just she at the time. And I, said, well, but see, I was a franchisor at that time, and they only wouldn't take it. Now, at International, they will. So, you know what? It can't always be about the number on the scale. And I know we get hung up on that. And I think that's part of fatigue. Like, you're fatigued with that number. It's like it's paralyzing. So sometimes you have to take that power back to that number. But black and white thinking often involves absolute terms. Never ever refers to thinking in extremes or overgeneralizing. You are either a success or you're a failure. Your performance was either good or bad. If we're not perfect, then we are a disaster. And that's not always true. Not always true. This type of thinking can also include the inability to see alternative solutions to a problem. This can lead us to be overly negative and critical of ourselves. And I see it. When I'm at a meeting and I see somebody who over focuses on having to lose every week, and I know she's at a lower weight, I could see it, but she's like obsessed with the fact that and I'm like, oh my God, you look amazing. But you know what? You don't see it. You don't see it. And I almost like, I think we go from one extreme to the other sometimes, and it's a little scary for me. Research tells us if we continue to try to do something that requires a lot of energy and effort versus what is doable, we're most likely to stop doing it. And it's when we stop, even for a relatively short period, it can be harder to start back up. So they are suggesting, instead of just being like when you know you're just not into it, you just know. They're saying, what is one easy thing you can continue to do? Like, don't give up totally. Like, for a lot of people, it's, one girl suggested just track breakfast. If nothing else, just track breakfast. That's one thing. Some people like water is one thing they can do. Then just do the water. Tracking is probably the one that most people get fatigued from. I get it, because it's a lot of work. It is. I'm not going to ever tell you that it's easy. It's not. But it's simple. It's different than easy. Simple is something you can do. So even if you track a little bit, or if you're so off plan, per se, and that happens, track it. Look at it every day. I guarantee you will not, that fatigue will not last if you keep seeing that yourself in the negative of points. So what is one simple thing you can do? And I took some notes. It's, fuel versus friction in choices. It's always the friction that causes us to get the things that we just don't feel like doing, that are just harder than others. There are some, like I said, to me, water is just, we have to drink water. We have to drink. Well, I'd rather drink tea. Well, at least you're drinking tea. Weight Watchers does not count anything with caffeine as a water beverage. So try a water enhancer. Try herbal teas. Herbal teas don't have caffeine in them, so they're not going to dehydrate you. So maybe switch to herbal. I try herbal now, mostly during the day. Morning, it's my regular cup of joe. It's 2 cups of green tea. And yes, I'm already starting with my Halloween mug. I can't wait to start with my Halloween one, because it says Boo. And hey, Boo, this is your topic. So yeah, I do 2 cups of green tea in the morning, and I do mostly water, but I do throw, if I want a tea, I do an herbal tea. It's just, it just gives you something a little bit fruity, a little bit fun, without that caffeine. And if you need the caffeine, though, I understand that. Maybe you should have a little. You can mix or do half and half. I mean, there's different things you can tweak. Again, it's not going totally off plan. It's like totally giving up caffeine. What can we do to lighten it up? And that's what they're saying. What is the first signal that you see that it's going to be like the week is not good? Like, if you could find that signal that we all have different first signals. If you can find that and then sit there and, like, instead of like I said, bottoming out and just be like, so I'm not doing anything. You unsubscribe from Dish with D. You leave the Facebook group. I see it happen all the time. And I try to sit there and tell you, don't unsubscribe. Don't leave the group. You could, you can get rid of the notification, but still see the things, because that will keep you in there. A lot of people find it very helpful. If you have a meetings on your program for Weight Watchers, go to a Zoom. They're much more improved than they were. And there are some that are better. And I mean better because you connect with them on a level. I have given very many people suggestions. A lot of the ones I like seem to be Monday morning. But if you need a suggestion for a Zoom, okay, you might not like the ones that I like. Again, I say sit through many, and you'll tell in the first 10 minutes whether you're going to like it or not. Because I do. There's many, I can't. There's just some you just can't. And there's nothing wrong with them. It's just, it's not what you need. So Start from the middle, not the top or not the bottom, because it's so much. Think about it. If you gave up completely, and you know what? It happened because you have the fatigue. It's normal. But to start at the bottom, it's so much more depressing to be like, well, I have to lose that 30 pounds again, plus 50 more. So if you could start in the middle, if you could just, like I said, keep one thing doable, like what you find doable is different than what I find doable. So whatever you find that you can continue to do in that heated moment, just try and do it. There's one thing you can keep doing. Modify your plan to keep you in the game, so you're not that far off and back to where you were. I mean, I've started from square one several times, and this time is different. Like, yeah, I've put weight on, but I've never put it all back on. And I guarantee you, if I didn't stick with this, even like I said, where I'm at, I would have put that weight back on, because you know how easy it comes back on. But yes, I stick with it. I mean, do I feel bad that I come on here and say I gained some weeks? Yes and no, because it's normal. And yes, because you come here for inspiration. And I don't want you to be like, oh my God, degained. Degains, what's it look like for me? So I want to always normalize gains. So that's why I say, like, you know what? It was what it was. And it is what it is some weeks. It just is. And it is normal. And I feel like so many people like banish people because they've gained a few pounds. It's like, you know what? It's life. And I feel like you're more normal if you have a few gains, honestly. What success looks like. What is success? What did it look like in the beginning of your journey? And what does success look like now? It's different. Like I said, for me, it was all about the scale. It was all about seeing that loss every week. And now it isn't. To me, it's about looking at my track everything I try, and to make sure that I stay within my points. And I also make sure that I've eaten well, and that there is indulgences. I have not had any bread faux pas this week, I'll have you know. I didn't. Did we go out at all? Oh God, I can't remember. I feel like, we did. We did go out. I was good. I actually had some fries. Here's the fun fact. I did not have a lot of fries. I had some because they were really good. And I said to Steve, because Steve goes, you usually take your fries home. I said, because these are good fries. I said, I've learned if it's a good fry, you eat it. If it's not a good fry, you don't eat it. And these were perfect size for me, perfect crisp, and they were hot. You know what I'm talking about. So yes, I'm like, I'm going to have a few, because again, if they were steak fries, I wouldn't eat them. If they were kind of not crispy, I wouldn't eat them. I would take them home, give them to Peter. He'd air fry them, and he'd have them for dinner. I'm like, yeah, no. And I did give him the rest, but they were good. He goes, you're eating the fries? I'm like, I am. I had a turkey sandwich with bacon. And I normally don't have that. But again, it's turkey, it's bacon. You know what? And the bread, which is my kryptonite. But you know what? There's sometimes you just have to have a fun, like I said, but it was just that. And I didn't eat the whole turkey. Well, I gave Steve about a quarter of it. He had a couple bites. But I normally don't even eat the whole, but it was a sandwich. It was dinner. I'm like, yeah, and a few fries. So what success looks like to me today is being healthy. Seeing when I go to the doctors how proud they are of me, and how the scale doesn't always reflect that, but the blood work does. And my pulmonologist, everybody is happy with my progress. Like, instead of looking at all the negative, why look at some of the positive? And it's funny when somebody mentioned it today, and it was true, when they do the BMI and they're like, well, you're overweight on BMI. I'm like, I jumped for joy. He looks at me. I said, you have to understand. I said, look back. I was obese and morbidly obese. He goes, that is true. I said, so to be overweight, I'm like, yes, that's such a win. I'm like, most people be like, oh my gosh, Nisha, you're happy about being overweight? Hell yeah. When I was morbidly obese, now I'm just overweight. That's a huge win. And you have to really, you have to think about the scale versus your health. The scale isn't always kind. And I see so many people struggling with the scale, and I don't know why. I mean, I wish I could. It's like a lot. And it's like, like I said, the fact that I started this channel, 6 years ago? The difference I see, it was always scale, scale, scale. Now I'm seeing people not having scale success. But that doesn't mean you're not having success. But we measure everything on that scale. We give it so much power. And Weight Watchers maintenance only have to get weighed in once a month. So they're not basically focusing on that. They're focusing on behavioral and things you can do. Hard sometimes. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you it's easy, because it ain't always easy. Let's ask a couple questions. Ask yourself, what habits and routines feel easy and don't require a lot of energy? So that's the things you have to focus on if you're struggling. Like, to me, water is the easiest one. That was what I said in the thing, like water. That is the most easiest one I can do. I drink, you drink. Definitely the most easiest one. And especially this time of year because it's hot and you got to keep yourself hydrated. So yeah, water for me is probably the one thing if I'm struggling or I just need a fatigue break, is I would definitely still keep up with water. How did I get started with those things? Because water is such a great flusher of many things, especially sodium. If you have things that are high in sodium in your diet, water helps flush that out. It's good for you. My mother had very bad lymphedema. I've mentioned this before, and had all this fluid, and they would give her a water pill. Well, I would say to her, I don't know if you know, I do have a medical background. I was a registered medical assistant for 11 years, post-children. And I'd say to her, she wouldn't drink. I said, why aren't you drinking? Well, I took my water pill. I said, do you understand that the water helps the water pill to flush it out? You really need to drink. I mean, there are some people that are required only to have X amount of fluid per day, but she was not one of them. I said, you need to flush. And she'd be surprised, like, wow, when I drink water, it does work better. Because you think to yourself, why would I put more water in when I have to take water out? It's a system. It's a plumbing system. What do I have in place that makes it easier to do my water is, I know it's so cliche to say it, but fun water bottles. It does. When your water and flavoring, like having the lemon packets that I love. In fact, I just ordered them from Amazon. They have the best price. True Lemon, I think. True Lemon. I always get confused with Lemon Perfect. I'm pretty sure it's True Lemon. I get 500 packets for $21. I was on the True Lemon's website, and their 500 pack was $39. I'm like, why would it be more on, you figure you order right from the company, and I would have had to pay shipping. Then they had the same thing, they were having a sale. So I looked at the thing, it was still going to cost me more from there than it did on Amazon. So I have that linked in my Amazon store, that mega box, because I go through them. I love them to death. I put them in my tea, I put them in my water. They're fabulous. So yeah, that helps me. And yes, a fun mug just does. It just makes it easier because we all like different mugs. We all like to drink our water. Some like to drink it through a spout. Some like to drink it through a straw. Some like to drink it through a nipple. It's just whatever works in your world. Some like Timmy. Timmy does not like his water cold. He likes plastic. I like metal. We're all different. Some people like glass. Whatever. Timmy has to drink his water room temperature. So how can I continue to focus on doing the easy things? Because it's hot and it makes it so much easier. But yeah, I just know that it flushes everything out. If I'm having a not so great day, the water does help a little bit. All right, ask yourself, what habits and routines take the most time and energy on your part to do? What is it that takes so much? And I will guarantee you 1 million people will say tracking, because it takes thought, because you have to, especially to track correctly, to track everything. So yeah, it does take a lot of energy. Not as much as people would like to think, but it does take some. So, and I guess some people are just not willing to put that time in. What shift can I make to make that easier? For me, it's probably, if I just do it, it's not that bad. Usually when you eat around the same things, it just pops right up. The scanner makes it easier. Or making it into a meal, like if you're making overnight oats, I put it in as an overnight oats meal. It's much easier because I pretty much have it the same way all the time. That's how I like it. But definitely the scanner makes it easier. How will I know I am ready for harder things? That's a hard one. I think when you maybe start seeing success again and you start getting that mojo back and you really want to do it, it doesn't take as much effort, then you're really ready to go on. Make a plan. What will you do to stay engaged on your health journey the next time that you feel fatigued and need to rest? Find out what it is that makes you feel fatigued. For me, which we've said a million times, it's been my exercise and it's been my food. It's not, should say all my food, it's been mostly eggs and salad. I've been fatigued with. Everything else I'm not fatigued with, but eggs and salad, I just cannot, for the life of me, make a salad. Very rarely. I'm telling you, I had one last week, was it? I haven't had one in weeks. I buy all the fun lettuces. They wind up going bad. I try to get Patrick to eat them. I am not feeling the salad. Somebody said to put it in a wrap. That might be a fun thing. And I did a whole video on how to build a fun salad. And that does help when you make it into a really different, when you add different things that you're not used to, always makes out. So if you haven't seen that video, it's linked, I'll link it. Maybe in the iCards or at the end, how to build a salad. Because if you're just eating lettuce and vegetables, it just gets boring. But I've found like different grains to put in there, different seeds, different proteins that do make it a little bit of a different salad. It does make it slightly more enjoyable because we should be enjoying our food. And eggs have been fatigued, and I go through the egg fatigue a lot. You just get tired. You get tired of eggs, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have to have an egg. I will say I'm not fatigued on the hard-boiled ones. Just like the scrambled, the fried. They just don't even move me at all. But the hard-boiled ones I'm not fatigued with. Like, I love putting different types of mustard on there or different types of Trader Joe's seasoning, like the Green Goddess or the pickle, the lemon, the 21 seasoning, the onion salt, all of them. And I do a different one every time so they taste different. And if you get horseradish mustard, it tastes like a deviled egg that you don't have to sit there and mash, fill. You just cut it in half, squirt. It tastes like a deviled egg in 2 seconds. You have deviled eggs anytime you want. So I'm not fatigued when it comes to those eggs. Just breakfast eggs, like, you know. And you know what? I'll get back because this happened before. If I get away from it for a while, then I'll be like, oh, I think I can go for an egg today. I can go for, you know, and that's what it is. You have to, if you're eating the same foods, you have to be fatigued. And that's half the reason you're not into your journey, because you're like, if I eat one more boiled chicken, one more chicken breast, go to thighs. Thighs are fantastic. I had a steak. Was that 2 weeks ago? It was 0 points. I didn't realize I was putting the steak in. I'm like, okay. I'm like, why am I not having steak once every week or once or twice a week? Once a week. Have a steak. Granted, don't have like a Fred Flintstone size steak, but have a 3 to 4 ounce steak. Have a fun potato. If you're making your potatoes the same way, do something different. I love to roast them in the air fryer. That's my favorite. Or try sweet potatoes roasted. Sprinkle a little cinnamon on top of your sweet potatoes with a little bit of, you can do regular brown sugar. You don't need that much. That's what they did with the restaurant. When we had this one restaurant about a month ago, and the side was sweet potato tater tots. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never had sweet potato tater tots. And I had a very low point dinner because I think I had shrimp and I had a vegetable. And I thought, I'm getting steak and tater tots. And she said, do you want brown sugar, cinnamon with it? I'm like, can you put it on the side? She goes, sure. So this little cup of brown sugar cinnamon came out. And I just had the tater, and I would just sprinkle it. First of all, sweet potato tater tots are all that in a bag of chips. I'm like, oh my gosh. I know, that's another thing. That's the one thing that if you're tired of potatoes, go to sweet potatoes. Oh my gosh. Or purple potatoes. You can get those in your area. Ube, those what are they? Those sweet potato, those purple sweet potatoes that they make ube ice cream with. Oh my gosh. Again, our local farm always has, usually around beginning of fall, he'll have the purple potatoes. I'm like, I need to get those. Again, if you're fatigued with your food, change it up. There's a huge 0 point food list, so don't be sticking to the same thing. Like if you eat ground chicken all the time, find a different way to make it. Make it into meatballs. I have a fun chicken burger. It was a teriyaki. It was a riff on the Trader Joe's chicken teriyaki burgers. They're really good. Put some seasoning in it. I can't remember. And I always served it with a slice of grilled pineapple and Canadian bacon. Different. So if you're food fatigued, you need to step it up a little bit and try some fun, different things. Like I said, go on the Weight Watchers app, go on the recipes, and type in ground chicken. And all the ground chicken recipes come up. Do something different. Pork loin. Pork loin is boring unless you do something different with it. It is very boring. Do you ever brush mustard on it? Dijon. It has to be Dijon, honestly. I think Dijon is the best flavor. I'm not a yellow mustard girl. I don't really like it. Though the dill pickle mustard Trader Joe's is yellow, unfortunately, but I live with that. Brush it on your meat. Or do that to chicken. Brush mustard and then bread it in panko and air fry it. I'm telling you, there's not much panko to worry about. Franco's big. You could probably use a tablespoon for you probably use a point's worth and it's plenty for your dinner. But it gives that nice flavor in your chicken. It just, again, change up your food. I'm telling you, we're in a rut of food because we just stick to what's quick and easy. And I get that, I do. But you don't want to get off plan because you're just, you need to put some thought into how to make your food a little bit better. But that is it. Let me know in the comments below. What are you fatigued about? Are you plan fatigued? Like I said, it's daunting to keep doing all this. It just is. But think about it. If I don't do it, I'll gain the weight back. And we don't want to do that. Yes, some of us have to do a little bit more work. Some people are lucky enough that they don't have to think about anything. They can just eat. I'm not that lucky. I'm just not. How was your week? Did you lose what you gain? What did you think of this week's topic? Are you plan fatigued? I think I already said that, but I want to reiterate that. Or what is it about the journey that fatigues you? Sometimes just putting it out there and saying it helps. And we're all here. We're all here. We're all here to listen, because let me tell you something. I don't know if you notice. Some people read the comments on these videos and they thumbs them up. I don't. It's not me giving you the thumbs up, it's somebody else. So you might be there helping somebody, and people that give the thumbs up and encourages everybody, kudos to you. I love the interaction. It's fantastic. And that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't seen my Trader Joe's haul from yesterday, healthy-ish haul, because but then again, it's fun food. I enjoyed it. I didn't eat all of it, but I enjoyed it. It's fun to check out different things. Don't be fatigued in the types of foods that you eat. And also there was a video all about fiber, because y'all asked for Fiber Month. It's Fiber Month. That'd be something fun to try. How to get out of food rut? Try something different. Try upping your fiber. Try adding more beans. And beans, I don't like beans. They find a different way to make them. I'm telling you, chickpeas, white beans, and even black beans make a great hummus. It does. Make it into a dip. Like, don't just eat it because it's a bean. I'm going to eat it like that. No. Invent different ways to put it in a salad. I think we said it on the salad video. Put some beans in your salad. Get that ground chicken you're tired of. Taco it up. Get the black beans and throw them in a taco salad. How good would that be? That just sounds really good to me now. I might have to make that this week. And that would be getting my salad in, getting my chicken in, and getting my beans in. Look at all that fiber. Holla, I'm telling you. We have to think outside the box sometimes. Suzanne, you're right. I knew I'd love this topic. She knows me well. So if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. If not, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at Dish with Dee, where I am one of the few people. Do you know anybody else that does the Weight Watchers weekly meeting topic? I was just thinking about that this morning. I started doing the topic when I would come out of my Weight Watchers meeting in the car, and I'd have the card, and I would just talk about because I needed to share my weigh-in because it was helpful to me to express my weigh-in. And then I started reading the card, and then it evolved from doing that to just doing it at home because COVID. But yeah, I used to always do it in the car. And then they stopped at the cards. That was another thing. I didn't miss the cards. But yeah, I was thinking, oh my God, you remember I used to do it? I used to talk about it in the car. Then I would drive home. We would do like a rambling sort of thing and finish the topic. But yeah. So I don't know. Anybody else doing this on YouTube? A lot of people used to do it all the time, but I don't know. That is it. Like I said, if you're new here, not yet, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at Dish with Dee. Share this video if you know somebody that could use a little Weight Watchers inspiration. And I will see you in a video very soon, my lovelies. Bye-bye for now.